very much for, of course, giving us that comparison. Let me come back to Mbui on this matter. You have heard her say we have a lot of, if not using the word a lot, but freedom to protest. And at this point in time, the solution to calm the country, would it be the broad-based government, or is it just another political game by people saying the opposition leader, who has vividly had a say in quite a number of these governments? Speak of Moi's era, Kibaki's era, Uhuru Kenyatta's era, and now Ruto's era, as much as there's dispelling that there is no coalition arrangement.
Yeah, thank you. First and foremost, I just want to say that much as Ugandan demonstrators may not have managed to get to Parliament, maybe the security forces were a little bit more organized, but they also have not killed over 60 young people in Uganda. So it's unfortunate that much as we're saying there's freedoms, there's also very serious abuse of those freedoms, because over 60 have lost their lives, very many have been maimed, and even up to now, there are quite a number of those that were abducted that are still missing. And so we may not be out of the woods yet. We are not able to really celebrate and say we are doing better than anyone else, because one life lost is one life too many. Now, I've also heard this story of that Kenya, is important and we have to protect our country. All of us, whether we are on the side of the executive of Kenya Kwanza or in Azimio, all of us have a duty to protect our country, and all of us love our country. In fact, I can say that even by agitating sometimes, it is not because we don't like Kenya. It's because we don't like poor governance. So we may raise issues, because if you love your country, then you're willing to say the right things, and you're willing to correct where there are mistakes. You cannot say you love Kenya and you can see Kenya going to the dogs, you can see corruption, you may be taking root, and you're quiet. I mean, that doesn't mean that you love Kenya because you're quiet. And at the same time, when like we refuse to get involved in the broad-based government arrangement, it's not because we don't like Kenya. It's just because we also respect our constitution, which is very clear about having a minority and a majority. And by the way, none of the issues that brought our young Kenyans to the streets have to do with the coalition arrangement in government.
Does it bring the face of national unity, however, even if it wasn't? I
will say this, and I've said this before.
Yes.
When you exchange Aisha Jumwa with Ali Hassan Joho, have you now created a face of Kenya? Aisha Jumwa is from Kilifi County in the coast. Ali Hassan Joho is from Mombasa, from the coast. If you exchange the two, have you now created the face of Kenya? If you bring in John Badi, my former minority leader, I served under him in the last parliament. If you bring him in as a CS and remove Eliud Owalo, both of them are from Luo Nyanza. Are we saying that now Luo Nyanza is more represented than before? And when you take in the same number of CSs from the mountain region, because there were, I think, 7, there are still 7. So at the end of the day, some of these are just stories that were being told. The issues I would have loved to see, and I think the president had an opportunity.
All right.
He had a perfect opportunity to correct, sweep the slate clean. When he got rid of all CSs, I thought now he'll take time and do what the young people of Kenya have told him. They've told him, don't appoint friends and political cronies. Appoint professionals that can drive this country to the next level. That is what he was told. And the grievances that these young people have nothing to do with who sits in cabinet and from which area of the country. And by the way, if you're talking about now broad-based and representing every region, I heard the deputy president talking about that he's gotten a seat in Murang'a, another one in Kiambu, another like Laikipia, another one, I don't know, he talked about Tharaka Nithi, Meru. And I was thinking to myself, I'm also a Kenyan now, people also pay taxes. I'm from Lower Eastern. We have 3 counties in Lower Eastern, Machakos, Kitui, and Makueni. We have only got 1 CS. And we are not complaining because we said we are not fighting for positions. I mean, so I think a lot of what is happening is a smokescreen that is taking us away from the real issues. Right. Why were we in the streets last year? Cost of living, poor governance. Why were the young people in the streets? Because they are unable to get jobs, because the cost of living has become too expensive. And so we need to address those. But even as we address those, now there are other problems. There is justice that is required to be meted out for those people that have lost their lives, their property, and that have been maimed. We've said we want justice. These people need to be compensated. Right. How can we be talking about positions when people, some of them have not been buried? Families are still looking for their loved ones. People have been abducted, have not been found. And we are discussing who becomes CS, who becomes PS, who becomes what. I think we are being unfair to this country, and we have an opportunity now to sort out these things. The police that shot these children dead are still walking free. You know, the person who was responsible for the county of Nairobi security since last year, who has got more than 100 innocent lives in his hands, he's still in office. It's only the Inspector General that resigned. So I think at the end of the day, we need to talk to each other and have that broad-based discussion, not sharing of power.
All right, a discussion and not sharing of power. Dr. Matunga.